The power is finally coming back on for most people in Texas. Around 200,000, though, still without electricity amid the bitter cold in the Lone Star State, and now water problems because of all of those outages. The blackouts there raise a lot of questions about whether other states may be at risk of the same problem. Grant Herm's been looking into that. Grant, Michigan, like every other state in the country except for Texas, does things differently.
Yeah, Devin, just a little bit differently. We should say that because of that, Michigan is not really at risk for something like what we're seeing in Texas right now, but there are still concerns about the state's power infrastructure as it ages and as we look to use electricity a little differently in the future.
When it comes to power, Michigan is like most of the country. It comes from all over. Michigan is part of a few energy and reliability groups. The first links us with states like Indiana, parts of Wisconsin, and Ohio, but it stretches as far east as New Jersey and Delaware. The state is also part of another group that connects Michigan north and south to 15 states along the Mississippi River, as far south as Louisiana and as far north as Manitoba, Canada. Experts say the idea behind this kind of partnership is to make sure states have the power they need if they don't produce enough power on their own. And Michigan uses a lot of power, about a third of it coming from coal, another 30% from nuclear power, and about a quarter of our power, mainly heating, is from natural gas. When it comes to renewable energy, the majority of that comes from wind, only making up 8% though in all. But all of that has to get to homes and businesses somehow, and that's where the problem is.
I mean, there's a lot of investment that can go into it to make the grid more sophisticated.
According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, Michigan's power grid earned a C- grade on their latest report card, essentially saying Michigan's power grid meets demand for now, but lines and environments around them need work, hoping to shed some light on the problems before Michigan is left in the dark.
Now, Michigan also ranks among the worst states for restoring power once there's an outage. We also ranked several years ago as one of the top 5 states for the number of power outages. Devin, those are small problems, but they can add up quickly to very big problems.
Doubt, Grant, and the tricky thing is here, the time to do something about this is when there isn't a crisis, and that's sometimes harder to get done when there's not one.
It certainly is. Now, there has been some indication of some support as the big automakers, including GM, as we just heard a little while ago, move towards getting electric vehicles. There's going to be a push for more infrastructure improvements there. And then former Governor Jennifer Granholm, who's the Biden administration's energy secretary nominee, said while we were watching those power outages in Texas that something has to be done ASAP to fix our infrastructure. So maybe we could see something soon once that crisis in Texas is over.
Yeah. All right, Grant.